So black people, when they were on their own, they had their standards about what they were going to do and what they were not going to do and what they were going to value and how you were going to conduct yourself. But integration, black people thought, well, this is finally the answer, to be accepted and to be included with everybody else, not understanding that the system of white supremacy, you see, is insisting that the black people be trash. Not that, think about President Obama. Here's a highly educated, intelligent, good person who's black, and he's demeaned and he's attacked and he's told he believes in elitism, thinking that everybody should get an education. Do you see? So we just have to, okay. Black people getting an education makes people who feel vulnerable and fearful. If black people get an education, it makes them fearful. And so it becomes manifest in terms of the pressures in life that impact black people because of the system of racism. If you are in an impoverished community and all of the things that go with impoverishment and lack of opportunity, and so many children in that setting, when it's an integrated setting, by that I mean we are in, not that the school necessarily has to be integrated, but we are in so-called integration post-racial. Well, that means that the black people are not setting the values for themselves. The values are being set by people who classify themselves as white on TV. The values that black people are supposed to internalize. So black people see black people acting like clowns and buffoons and trash. That's what they're supposed to be. Well, that wasn't so when black people were in their segregated communities, in their churches and in their homes. Black people had other things that they thought about themselves and that they aspired to. And so black people have to, it's not that black people should not go to all the public accommodations that other people go to, but black people have to begin to realize, wait a minute, what is the image that we intend to project about ourselves as black people? Are we supposed to be trash, clowns, buffoons, like some of the people who are making a whole lot of money? Is this supposed to be the image of black people? What are black people supposed to be doing? How are they supposed to be behaving if they indeed value and respect themselves? See, when people value and respect themselves, any kind of behavior doesn't go. There's certain things you do and certain things you don't do. It's just like Queen Elizabeth in England. There's certain things you do and certain things you don't do. And so she has for 60 years as the emblem of the state, certain things you do and certain things you don't do. And it helps to hold those people together. It helps to hold them together. A standard of conduct. Well, black people had standards of conduct in Africa before enslavement. They had standards of conduct in spite of enslavement. But then integration comes along and standards of conduct are being determined outside of black people, even outside of black people's awareness. And we need to become aware of that. You see, it's like, people want you to be in a permanently retarded state, then they'll say, now your thing is to clown. Your thing is to bug dance, shake booty, and clown. Your thing is not. Your music has to be so loud you can't think. Blasting so you can't think. Just get up and shake your booty. Now that's your thing. Now other people are going to be sitting quietly in school and studying, or sitting quietly in the library, or sitting quietly in their homes, studying and being serious, because they have roles to play in helping to make their society, their group of people, highly functional. So it's a question of, all we have to understand is, just like if you sit down at the chessboard and you're playing with somebody who doesn't want you to become a chess master, you say, what is this game all about? They say, well, this is chess. Well, what are the rules? They don't tell you all the rules. They don't tell you about all the plays you need to understand. And they keep saying, checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Oh, you can't play. You must be genetically inferior. As opposed to, the reason you can't play because I lied to you about what the game is about and how the game is played. And so black people have to smile and say, well, that's interesting. You must have done that because you felt vulnerable yourself. You didn't feel that you would stand up to my challenge. But that's okay. I understand you. Now I will, on my own, begin to understand the game. I will begin to understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and exactly how it works. Because I have the intention of producing justice on this planet so that no one is mistreated and those who need the most help get the most help, so there can be peace. And once we get that going, we can move forward and think about becoming a universal man and universal woman on this planet. But the foundation is going to be that we have now realized that we were shaped and molded so we would not have respect for ourselves. But we're going to change that in rapid order. Because now we're understanding. Now we're understanding. We understand the Klan. We understand the Nazis. We understand why people call people across the seas terrorists, but won't refer to these groups as terrorists. Domestic terrorists, racism, white supremacy terrorists. Well, anybody who is not labeling these groups racism, white supremacy terrorists is themselves helping to maintain that terrorism, which is consistent in proof of a system of racism, white supremacy. See, it's important that everybody has understanding. Everybody needs understanding. And black people, we need to give ourselves, turn off the music, turn off the dancing. Every black person has a PhD in dancing and singing. Now is the time to be thinking, serious, analytical, self-respecting, understanding the power dynamics that are taking place on this planet. And deciding that the black genetic and constitutional potential is going to be developed second to none. See, black people during formal slavery taught themselves to read when there was a threat against their lives if they learned how to read. Taught themselves to writing on a dirt floor. So we just have to understand and then recover ourselves and understand that we were not made the first human beings on the planet and the mothers and fathers of everybody on the planet to be stupid people. See, the people who put up pyramids were not stupid people. These were black people. Black people were the first builders, the first philosophers, the first mathematicians, the first scientists, the first people who understood family life. But we have been demeaned and degraded and made the lowest functioning people on the planet. And we need to understand this, and we need to decide this is completely and totally unacceptable. And we're not going to be yelling and screaming and calling names and talking about hurt anybody, but we will, to our best of our ability, protect and defend ourselves. But we are going to be about the business of establishing justice on this planet.